Alright, good morning everybody. So I hammered out the list. I think it's a good day to be playing this deck. We've been talking about it for a couple days though. So this actually started off as a Tyvar mid-range deck. I was playing Dauthi Voidwalker, Priest of Rites, Stoneforge Mystic over Seasoned Pyromancer in the shell, with the thoughts that Tyvar making all of these creatures able to activate their abilities immediately was an interesting way to power up these already pretty powerful 2-drops. But after a little more thinking, Nahiri is just like I think a better fit overall for specifically like Priest of Rites and Dauthi Voidwalker, where there are 2-drops that you can return on turn 3 even with Nahiri's 0 ability and activate them immediately. Priest of Rites is always a card that I've been kind of interested in playing in like a kind of a black-white based Grief Solitude shell, but the thing is, like, I just have always felt like it's been missing like one more good card to power up the archetype, and I think in a lot of ways Nahiri is kind of just like that perfect fit. Nahiri also like brings back Grief on turn 4 with if you played Nahiri as for 4 mana instead of 5, which is kind of interesting when you compare that to Solitude and Fury. Nahiri has to tick up to bring back the Solitude or Fury. Also very good to recur Seasoned Pyromancer. But I also kind of found playing Nahiri the first time in the Boros deck. Nahiri's just kind of a good Planeswalker by herself, especially in a black-based mid-range deck like this that's emptying its hand pretty quickly, where the +1 just draws a card if you have no cards in your hand. The other +1 protects Nahiri. Just like a nice value Planeswalker that complements the rest of the like Mardu ETB shell here. It's also like a pretty good day to be playing Dauthi Voidwalker Solitude, where both these cards are really good against Titan, and having access to Dauthi Voidwalker plus 8 discard spells and Solitude Ephemerate is maybe a nice way to like have game against Titan game 1 with a few extra sideboard cards post board, but Titan's definitely picking up a lot in popularity. I feel like there's like one more thing I wanted to note. The mana is like it's hard I think to have one black and white spells on turn 1 and then Seasoned Pyromancer on turn 3, but I do think Seasoned Pyromancer was like I think that the added power level of Seasoned Pyromancer does oh whoops, this is the backup deck. Added power level of Seasoned Pyromancer worth the diminished consistency of the mana base, which is something I was kind of wrestling with yesterday. Rapid at 30 months, thank you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I agree. I think Nahiri seems pretty good. I know we didn't do super well with the Boros deck the other day, but as far as like card evaluation, I did really like Nahiri, and I also think like having access to 8 2-drops that are really good with Nahiri is like a really good place to be. I know we're not playing Stoneforge Mystic, which is also very good with Nahiri, but yeah. Okay. Also in some ways still, you know, an early draft. Playing 4 Seasons could be a lot. With Titan being as popular as it is, I'm very interested in playing 4 Thoughtseizes. Not a great hand. Maybe this is a hand you have to keep with a deck like this. I think I have to mulligan. The Grief is just like, you know, pretty medium, pretty mediocre in this hand. Why does this deck do better with Spire over Fable? Trying to understand when you want one card over the other. Seasoned Pyromancer works much better with Ephemerate and Nahiri and Undying Evil, Malakir Rebirth than Fable of the Mirror Breaker does, which is why we're playing it over Seasoned Pyromancer, or over Fable. Are we ever playing Solitude for 4, just for Solitude? Solitude and Grief, yeah, and also when you just have an extra mana. Watery Grave. Hopefully it's not Mill. Mill is getting popular at the moment. So we need to get Godless Shrine here. I kind of waffled back and forth between playing a Triumph and not playing a Triumph. We are playing against Mill. Drew our Nahiri though. Wow, Nahiri is actually a sick draw. Although we didn't actually mill over any 2-drops, I suppose. Still a very good draw. Mill is really scary with the new Jace. The Mill is a very, very powerful, good deck. Am I playing Lockdown instead for Rhinos? It's mostly for Hammer Time, but it can come in against Rhinos and a few other matchups as well. Okay, so now I can Nahiri back the Void. Oh, I hit a Priest. Awesome. Okay. So let's just go ahead and Nahiri back Priest, get back Solitude. And the Solitude stays in play. Am I gonna... I've been working on the Hellraiser deck, yeah, but not quite ready for today, I think. Punishing with the 5 months, thank you. Still a lot going on, of course. Remember the card you bring back is a token, not a creature itself, which is a mistake I made earlier. So we can't, like, bring back Dauthi Voidwalker, sack it, then Undying Evil it. Shocks in the Watergrave. So let's just attack. If my opponent drowns my Solitude, then I can Undying Evil it and get rid of the crab. Which is not something that happens here. Could maybe have also just thrown the like Dauthi Voidwalkers at them for bolts. I think I'm gonna draw a card. This is maybe a little greedy. Although I'm happy to find a Thoughtseize here. Think there's anything with Tyvar Priest of Fell Rites? So I mentioned this already, but this actually started off as a Tyvar deck, and I do think that you can play a Tyvar Priest of Fell Rites shell. I mean, I guess you could play this, but I think you can play a Tyvar Priest of Fell Rites shell. But my main thinking here is that my main thinking with this list was that this was a better shell for like the more mid-rangey Priest of Fell Rites deck, and here he just like seems so sick here to me. I'm gonna discard both spells, get a bit more pressure. They can't Revolt Fatal Push this Seasoned Pyromancer right now. Yeah, I think we'll still cast our Priest. I think the Nahiri Priest could be working Archon Reanimator. I do, yes, I do. I think I wanted to start with this shell, but I do think a more traditional Archon Reanimator deck could definitely work as well. Kind of thinking about still playing Witch's Cottage in that shell, but I'd probably not. Glimpse me for 10. Okay. I think we just haste the Dauthi Voidwalker here. Alright, Nahiri was awesome that game. Wheel matchup definitely scary though. Let's bring in third Fatal Push. Turoks are okay as well. Needle and Jace actually seems fine. I want to go down on Solitudes, but Solitude being a 5 for Tasha's is kind of nice. I think I also don't like these Terminates very much. So maybe I'm like 3 push, 1 Terminate, 2 Solitude, 62 cards. Yeah, we'll try Atraxa. I don't know. I'm sure Canister's tried it already. I don't know how he felt about it. Why no Fury in the sideboard? I think we're already doing pretty good on like our removal suite overall. Like, you know, Fury is a sideboard card I like in decks like the Priest deck where you don't have any removal at all, and so like just buying you time against Burn, killing Eidolon, buying you time against Yawgmoth I think is really nice, but I don't feel like it's not necessarily something we need here. Okay, I'm gonna keep this hand. How good is Ephemerate Malakir? Do you sit with Grief? I mean, you have Grief, you have Solitude, you have Seasoned Pyromancer, you have Dauthi Voidwalker. For the Undying effects at least, doesn't work with the Ephemerates. Alright, I'll take that second crab for sure. Oh, in this matchup? Yeah, good with Grief. So this was their draw for the turn, so they're going to be holding up Drown in the Lock. But I can terminate their crab after they cycle a Fractured Sanity, I suppose. So, draw is Polluted Delta. Maybe they're just going to hard cast Fractured Sanity this turn. Tasha's hitting 12 cards. Not actually as good as a Fractured Sanity, huh? Yeah, I think I'm taking the Fractured Sanity. I do think it's a somewhat close decision. But we can go Turok, get rid of the Drown next turn, and then we can start using Priest of Fell Rites to get some pressure into play. We have 2 priests in the yard, so it's not like we're low on gas. Although it is like I don't have any basics left. For whatever that's worth. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and just get the Drown out of their hand. Whatever you play this turn is getting Drowned. The Turok is also getting like worse after this, so I wanna jam this now, and the Dauthi Voidwalker gives me the potential to double spell going forward. So we know no cards in their hand. They have 2 cards in their hand. I should be priesting this turn, right, for mana efficiency's sake. And I think I'll get back Seasoned Pyromancer, discard Ephemerate, Blackcleave Cliffs. Pretty painful draw we've had, but, you know, of course we're playing a against Mill, so we don't need to worry too much about that. $26 cards left in our library. Need to get some pressure on them, of course. They go ahead and fire off the Field of Ruin. No basics for me. Surely they don't, like, just have an Archive Trap, right? Oh, they have an Archive Trap, and don't call me Shirley. Gross. 13 cards in library. I mean, we've talked about the Fauna Shaman tech for a while with Tyvar. I think there's some potential. The problem is Fauna Shaman is like a really, really weak card. And I'm not like super excited to register it, but it may be like an off-stream test kind of deck. Let's target the Grief. Down to 4. Do they have a Drown and a land? Yeah, land Darksix Shores. Yeah, I'm excited to play Tyvar Elves. I think we are likely going to play it today, but don't bank on it 100%, I guess. So put my opponent down to 7. This kills me if they find a Glimpse. I'm not sure how many Glimpses they play, but I think I like just getting lethal in play for next turn. Somebody tell me what the new Jace's name is, please. Because that's what I'm naming with Needle. The Perfected Mind, thank you, thank you. That's right. Two life, baby, 2 life. Jace, the Perfected Mind. So if they draw a crab, they can survive. Most mill spells kill me. Not Archive Trap though, because they didn't play the Shores. So they draw removal. Well, we've got no lines but attack here. Let's go. All right. Mill's still, you know, scary matchup for most decks, especially like when you're kind of weak to surgical effects. Let's mulligan this. It's not too bad actually. We can like reanimate a Solitude. Okay, we can keep. Do you think the new Spell Dancer can be helpful in increasing the power for Esper Mentor? No, the new Spell Dancer is not playable in Modern, in my opinion. Unless like you can figure out like a interesting way to like kind of combo with it, it's not a card I'm really interested in registering. If Mill's scary matchup, most decks is Mill underrepresented. Yeah, Mill has been underrepresented. Demonic Tutors has been crushing with it lately. Mill has been a good deck for a while too, and has been kind of underrepresented in my opinion. And I think we'll continue to put up results until people, you know, register more Imricles and stuff in their sideboard. So we can either go Thoughtseize, cast Priest into Hardcast Grief next turn, or can go pitch Grief, reanimate. I think I'm gonna do this. Oh, it's Tamashii combo. Interesting. I can still reanimate Grief this turn. So I could do something like take Tamashii, reanimate Grief. Or take Dry, take Iteration, maybe? Alarmist Call's pretty slow. He's fine. Are they playing Valakut? Yeah, they combo kill with like Cultivator, Colossus, Dryad. Whatever. People have asked me to rank the FromSoft games a lot. It's hard because I think each game does like different things particularly well. But I do think Dark Souls 1 is my favorite. I'm gonna choose Omnath instead of another Tamashii. I guess they don't have the Lotus. Except 2. There's things to like about Dark Souls 2, but you could probably make a good argument that Dark Souls 2 doesn't do anything better than a different Souls game. Our Priest deck could be a real thing. Yeah. It's powerful, it's fast. I think that like I need to hammer it out a bit more, but what I want to be doing with the Rot Priest deck, at least the list I've been playing, is I want to be playing one Goblin Narcomancer as a Summoner's Pack target, and I also think I want to get back up to 4 Summoner's Packs. And I'm not sure exactly like what that means for the Traverses. If I just play 2 Traverse, if I play 3 Traverse, 15 lands, and I cut like the Gather Courage. Or like the 4th Gutshot, but I want to be doing something along those lines with the list. I still haven't looked at Brian's Rot Priest deck. I've honestly been like pretty offline when it comes to new set release. Not you know, it's not targeting anybody specifically, but there's just like a really big overload on opinions and like takes on the new set, and I've started to feel like it just kind of like clouds my mind a little bit to read all of the hot takes on Twitter all the time. So I'm kind of just like not trying to stay off of it for a little while, and so I can just keep more focused on the magic, you know. So we can find a Dauthi Voidwalker. We can stop their Tamashii loops, but otherwise we're dying next turn without a big top deck here. Nahiri does not seem to help. So I'm not going to be able to hold up push for Tamashii. So I think we die. Because they have Eldarmy's Call for Dryad, for Tamashii. They have 2 of these coming down, and then they can Eldarmy's Call for Colossus. Morning, Freya. Traditional Random seems good here. Imagine bringing back Archon instead of Solitude, lol. Yeah, bringing back Archon's better than Solitude. Imagine drawing 2 Archons and, like, you know, drawing Dead Armor Graves. Lol, it's just a different archetype. I thought this was like a bit more unique, but we could try that too. We could try that too. But what's nice is like it's Archon is like usually like 12 cards worth of cards. Okay, we're dead. I'm gonna concede. And you get to cut those, and you get to play like a cohesive, nice mid-range deck instead. Okay, we're bringing in Needle for sure. Chalice of the Void seems okay. Actually, it's not that good because they just let the Lotus get countered and then they recur it, right? Yeah. Terminate seems a lot better than Push. Get these pushes out of here. Yeah, they did have a second call in their hand. I do like Turok in this matchup. I think I want all the Terminates. What are we cutting? I can trim a Spyro. Didn't they call for Omnath? Oh, fuck. No, you're right. Sorry, chat. I thought they still had it. I don't know why I thought they still had the second call. Okay. Probably still dead there, but that's okay. Yeah, you could trim a Nahiri. Also, that'd be fine. This thing looks pretty sick, though. I was doing a good job curating the revealed cards last game. Not this one, though. Tamashi, Reality Architect. I think with 4 Nahiri, 4 Spyro, you could play an Arcana 2 just for value. You could. The thing is, like, when you play an Archon or 2, evaluating if, like, 1 or 2 Archons increases your win percentage is very, very difficult. Where it's, like, how meaningful, like, when you're able to, like, you know, loot away your big card and activate a Priest of Fell Rites, are, like, obviously, like, you're winning when you reanimate Archon most of the time in those situations. However, you're also making yourself, like, have a much higher range of dead draws, and let's get the Nahiri done. You have a much higher range of dead draws, and I think a lot of times when you would be reanimating an Archon, you'd be winning anyways if you're reanimating anything else. But it's, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but it's also like the list does not feel like there's a ton of room, and it's also really common for, you know, it's always hard for me to, like, you know, take these suggestions super duper seriously, where the vast majority of Twitch comments are like, Spike, we could get more value if we put this 8-drop in the deck, or a 3-drop in the deck. I'm not saying you're wrong, it's just these I get these suggestions constantly, so it's always really hard for me to listen to them, I guess. Alright, let's go ahead and I think discard Solitude. I guess I can discard this Seasoned Pyromancer, Spyro back next turn, so discard these 2. Okay, not very good pickups. 2 months, thank you. For the Euros, yeah, for sure. I'm probably, you know, talking too much about it, honestly. It's also like this deck doesn't have, like, Prismatic Ending, Leyline Binding, and so, like, for the most part, you're just kind of okay getting Rest in Peace right now, where, like, Nahiri still draws cards, and your Undying Evils don't do anything, but that's kind of just okay. And then your Priest don't do anything, but the more and more graveyard, like, as soon as you start adding more graveyard synergies like that, you have to start, like, taking away, you have to play more answers to Graveyard Hate 2, which is, you know, kind of complex. Moving pieces. They shock in this Hallowed Fountain, which I'm a little confused about. This might be like hardcast Solitude. I think I'm still just going to use my mana and Terminate, especially when I've got Seasoned Pyromancer to bring back here. But we can discard Nahiri, Sacred Foundry. think we still have Nahiri to loot for us. Maybe just draw his cards if we're hellbent. Okay. Not doing so bad here. You know, got the run. Awesome. Yeah, I kind of felt like he was going to get it soon. Congrats to Dino. Is 16 white cards enough for 4 Solitude? Yes, it is. I think like usually like 14 or 15 is like bare minimum, but 16 is plenty. Are they going to kill me? Okay, I was worried that they just bounce the needle and kill me this turn with Tamashi. That'd have been gross. Definitely looking to find some discard spells. You know, we've had a Nahiri in play for a long time, which has been really nice, but we've also been drawing a lot of lands. Ephemerate not too helpful. Every time that minus goes at elemental instead of my needle, I'm breathing a sigh of relief. I'm just gonna loot away the Urborg, I guess. Well, we're like 22 cards, no discard spells, no Dauthi. Or I guess we have a Dauthi Voidwalker that got bindinged. So there's still shields down here, but thankfully, wait, they're targeting the token instead of the needle? They must have another answer for the needle here if they've like just been ignoring it like this. We can also Nahiri back Solitude if they play like a Dryad or an Omnath. What about Bitter Union or maybe Fable? Bitter Union or Fable as in a modern deck. With Nahiri, like, you need these enablers to be creatures for Nahiri, and I don't know, Bitter Union's also like just so overhyped, and it's a fine card, but I don't think it's a particularly good fit. Okay, just value Colossus. Exiles Lotus Bloom, 2 cards in hand. Remember, this is a token if we Nahiri back the Solitude, so we can't Ephemerate it. So it could be better to Priest of Felrites the Solitude. Okay. Dude, they do not care about this Nahiri either. Why they like binding this elemental token? I'm like still kind of shocked about that. Like, I mean, I could just like get back Solitude, exile Colossus, kill Teferi. Nahiri is like way better if your opponent like totally disrespects it the whole game, I guess. Oh, definitely should have played my stupid Voidwalker first though. That was a big mistake. Would have certainly have been interested in casting Teferi here. Yeah, Jibo can Ephemerate the token. We're doing pretty well here. Well, I lost my Solitude. Sanctifier is pretty beatable, though. We have more Solitudes in the deck. Guess I'm gonna discard the Blood Crypt next turn, probably. Fine tunes with Rightwood Scram with Archon. I'm more interested in 3-2 split of Orvar Rest in Peace. I'm not sure about most of the numbers on Red White Scam at the moment. It's a deck that I'm having a really hard time with, to be honest. Is Wingmantle Chaplain the Walls deck? Is that the 0-4, whenever you block, you gain 2 life? I think that card's a trap. I think that card's not very good at all. Like, your opponents are just not going to attack most of the time if you have profitable blocks. And if you do have profitable blocks, you occasionally get to gain, like, you know, life, but it's good against, like, Burn, exactly. Yell through them, make spurs. Okay, so it's not that one. Defender, when it enters battlefield, 1/1 bird for each creature defender. Hmm. That card actually seems kind of sick. It's 4 mana though. Oh, I don't have double white somehow. I mean, I've been looting away lands. Like an Ephemerate or pitch Ephemerate to get rid of the Sanctifier. Okay, hopefully they play a second creature. Okay, that's a second creature. It makes Spirit's Fairy while it comes in afterwards. I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. You could play one over like Arcades #3. It may be the kind of card that like doesn't like actually line up well against the modern format. You have to play with it a couple times, but I'm not like uninterested. Long game, huh? So if I hardcast this Grief, I don't have Terminate up. I think that that's probably okay. Guess I could play the Flooded Strand to have Terminate up. Ah. Okay, let me just double check that I still have a Sacred Foundry in the deck. Yeah, I just got Enduranced. Yeah, just getting here was a sick deck. I have a second Veil of Summer, honestly. They have another Colossus. Wargate for Colossus? Okay. They only have 2 cards in their hands. I'm assuming they're both lands. Oh no! Atraxa? Wait, I get to maybe Voidwalker that next turn though. They might have a binding or something. I'm gonna do this now so they don't like find Veil of Summer off of this. Might have Veil of Summer in hand. Binding in response, so that I don't get to Voidwalker it. Wow, they had the binding in the hand. What the hell? How is this good? I don't know. So they can get land. They can get land, Tamashi, Renin 6. So they can get Beseiju, Veil, Wargate or Expressive Iteration, Tamashi, Ren. Wow. Wait, we don't know what they took in their put in their hand. It's just like Niv Mizzet. Why don't we? Okay, so this was the unknown. So there, it doesn't tell me what they took. They wargated for Atraxa. They should have taken Tamashi, Beseiju, Veil, Renin 6, Wargate. Yeah, the same bug existed for a long time with Niv Mizzet. Draw a card. Okay, so I know that they have Veil. I can't Ephemerate the Grief. But not a bad draw though. My opponent might like fetch and Beseiju my Needle end of turn. Alright, so they either have Wargate or Iteration, probably Wargate. Okay, so let's go ahead and while they don't have Veil up, Ephemerate the Grief. And then we'll know for sure. Oh wait, did I just fuck up? Maybe I did. I guess they still have to top deck something. Yeah, they have to top deck something. So I'll take the Tamashi. They can Wargate for another Tamashi. But they have to find a payoff on either their draw step or their cycle land. I have a lot of looks, don't they? I guess this isn't like any worse than this is actually even better. This is better than Solitude in the Tamashi though, because that gives them an extra card. Yeah, they have to draw one con. You're getting wrecked by Atraxa. Actually just demolished. Long game, though. It'd be cool to win through an Atraxa. I guess they probably don't have enough mana to Ephemerate. Or so to, like... Oh, they have a million mana. What am I talking about? They have, like, 30 mana. Yeah, so they get to pick up 2 Triumphs and cycle both of those also, which is a really cool line. Double Atraxa trigger an incarnation with Alice. Gross. Cycles a Triumph. Has another Triumph to cycle if they continue to brick. How many Cultivator Colossus do they play? Do they just play 4? There's a Dryad. Shouldn't be able to play Valakut this turn, right? Ridden 6 pick up Triumph. 2 usually? Okay, there's 1 out of the deck. They have 19 cards. Yeah, they get 2 more cycles. Cycles again. 9 cards in hand. A lot of them are lands, though. Lotus Blooms again. 4 white mana. Lotus Blooms again. They probably found it. It's really hard for them to brick. They made Endurance. They've already... their Endurance is exiled. Nahiri can force them to attack you. He can, yeah. We're gonna die to Cultivator Colossus here, though, probably. Maybe I put a Dex themselves. What a weird game. It seems so weird to me to play Atraxa in this deck when, like, you already want to. You already like. Is Atraxa better than the 3rd Cultivator Colossus? Maybe it is. I don't know if, like, their last card is Valakut. If, like, the last 2 cards are Valakut. Does not seem to be the case. Copious amounts of copium. Cool game, though. Dermotaxi did nothing wrong. Dermotaxi did nothing right either. Dermotaxi also did nothing right. Alright, Steam Vents tapped, pass. Thank you for gifting them to you, bought a sub. Anonymous. I think with 2 Thoughtseizes in my hand, I can just take the Shredder now. I know I have the push for the Shredder, but I'm not super interested in Fetch Shocking next turn, since I have triple Thoughtseize. Would, like, prefer to just cast one of my Thoughtseizes this turn to get a tapped Godless Shrine, or untap Godless Shrine if I need to, like, push a dashed Ragavan. Might end up just casting Seasoned Pyromancer next turn, discard, like, Priest Thoughtseize. Trixie feels kind of worse than Archon. I mean, you draw more and the body's better, but everything else is worse. Well, I mean, if you're able to, like, draw into Grief or Solitude, it's usually going to be better. It's also true, again, you know, that the main point is always, in these conversations, that Atraxa works with Gorios and Archon works with Persist. I guess that maybe I can go Godless Shrine, Shocked In, push Ragavan, because I know they don't have a counter spell, and then I can just discard this Thoughtseize, so I'm not taking too much damage. Yeah, that's a Lucy bark. I think it doesn't really bark. It means there's either a cat or a vulture outside if she's barking up like this. Ooh, that's a good draw. Oh boy. Thank you, Magic Online. Falling apart a little bit more every day. And 14 months, thank you. Thankfully, Esther, it's not, you know, all the way through, but Esther should be getting a job offer today or Friday. That's what they told her, at least. Uh-oh. So when Magic Online, stops functioning, I can be a stay-at-home, no-hit streamer. Dead Moto. Dark Souls Day? I did do some practice last night. I'm a little bit less rusty. I love how Dingo immediately came in here. Spike! My stream crashed. Okay, we need to get a screenshot. We need to get a screenshot so I can tweet Dark Souls Day. But I need more error messages on my screen. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, never mind. Hot tub stream, yeah. No, I'm really happy for Esther though. She's been, you know, working very hard. Trying to get re-employed after being fired or laid off, and she's excited for this job, but we'll get all the details a bit later. And I can just stream Dark Souls non-stop. Well, yeah, it seems like Magic Online died. Mr. Bego, 16 months, thank you. They did a chat. They finally killed Magic. They finally killed Magic. I guess we can keep this. Gotta readjust everything. Did we lose game 1? I don't know. I can't remember. Or what were we up against in round 3? We lost the match to Tamashi Combo, and then, as far as I remember, we didn't get like almost anything done. Oh, we were up. We were ahead against Murktide. We were definitely ahead. All right, so let me go take Unholy Heat, and I think I take the Murktide. No, I'll take the Shredder. Spike get hit on the run. No, we're still live. We were live right before Gargoyles. But I just need to get some more Magic stuff done. Yeah, no, I was in a pretty good mental place last night. Like, I got a little discouraged because Ornstein and Snow hit me 2 or 3 times, but then I beat them three times in a row, which felt good. And then I moved on. I got 1 hit on Nito, and then that was it for the end game, which was exciting. Totally, like, just demolished Gwen. Land. Awesome. Voidwalker. Pass. Did reinstalling fix MTGO? Yeah, it did. Uninstall, reinstall. You can tell as I'm currently playing it. You know what? I guess I could have cast my other Voidwalker first, so I could have had Counterspell up, but I don't know if I want to have Counterspell up necessarily. Rob, 13 months, thank you. Right. Maybe an iteration, we'll see. Could, like, Nahiri back Voidwalker iteration. Land? No land, unfortunately. Nice to have some insurance against a Murktide, though. Just a 1/1 channeler for now. Okay, I'm reading the title. Oh. Okay. I changed it, I didn't submit it, thank you. Okay, drew a land. Trying to see like what has this is checking if I had bolt under void counter here. So I'm gonna go Nahiri, try to get back Voidwalker and try to bolt the channeler if they don't have a counter spell. Do you think an Abzan version of this deck could work Tyvar instead of Nahiri? So I've said this a few times, but this deck started off as Abzan with Tyvar instead of Mardu with Nahiri. And I think that this is better. Like I think Nahiri is so much better than Tyvar would be in this shell, where the card advantage when you're Hellbent, the other relevant +1, as opposed to like just the like completely irrelevant +1 that Tyvar has in this kind of shell. Okay, they keep a card on top. Pretty good card to keep on top, huh? Damn it. Like I just don't like, obviously like being able to like play and activate Priest immediately if you have a Tyvar in play is nice, or Voidwalker. But I don't even think that's like nearly as relevant as the benefits to Nahiri. Graveyard Borrower must not be a bad matchup for them. Iteration into iteration. It's not great. White card could be nice, just, you know, Solitude the Channeler, play Spyro. Was iteration a net benefit for Modern to improve the format? I don't know. I don't hate expressive iteration. I think like a good card advantage spell being in the format is overall fine. It feels about right to me, to be honest. See if they have a second Spell Pierce. You know, never ever dodging second Spell Pierce in my life. Looks like they probably have a Bolts or Heat. Bolt targeting me. Put a counterspell into the graveyard. I don't know if that means... We'll see, but is that good for me? I don't know. Okay, with them not playing a threat, I'm definitely gonna believe that it's good for me. Is Murktide playing Minor Misstep? I saw like Mingu trying it out, but okay, I don't want to shock and be dead to a Lightning Bolt, even though it would let me get back the tokens here, so I'll just play a tap Sacred Foundry. I saw Mingu trying it out. I think that Minor Misstep is not going to end up being a card that you want to main deck in Murktide. I think that it's a card that can be okay in the sideboard if you're looking for specifically anti-Cascade and anti-Hammer Time / burn cards, but for the most part, it's not something I'm super high on. Okay, I'm gonna push now, so I can Seasoned Pyromancer if I want to. Okay, so we'll see if they hit a land to grow the Shredder or not. It'll be pretty relevant. Okay, they did not grow the Shredder, which is good. Big draw step for me. Worst draw on the deck. Is it Nyx just better? Well, so Nyx hits Fury and Solitude. This hits 1 mana spells. It's not just better. Oh yeah, sure. Against Cascade decks, but like the idea is that you have more versatility in the sideboard card. But no, I didn't have my instep stop because Magic Online restarted. Fuck. Okay, it's on me though. It's on me. Like I usually have this. I took it off. Fuck. It is definitely my fault. Definitely my fault. Is an explainable sideboard? Yeah, I don't think I would register my sideboard at the moment. I do think it's kind of nice against Amulet, though. I do like that it counters Amulet, counters Grazer, counters Pact. So, like, I would bring in, like, the first copy at least. So they'd be at 4. Yeah, it's a good draw, though. It'd be nice to win against an opponent who drew 3 iterations. Would be attacking for lethal right now had I had my instep stop on. Nahiri would be a good top deck. They might have another counterspell. Although they've used a lot of their counterspells already, I guess. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. They might bolt an elemental token. Four? No, 1, 2, 3, right? There's one in exile, 2 in the yard. Am I missing one? Oh, less counterspell. Oh, less counterspell. I see, I see. I forgot to account for the spell snare count, huh? What is this fetch? I have 3 1/1s in play. Ugh, look at like sad reset. What in the world is that fetch though? Alright, so in the Forge-Tenders, in the push, out the Terminate, out the Thoughtseizes. I guess I want to trim on Voidwalker. I can play like 1 Thoughtseize, 3 Voidwalker. Click submit. Heard you before where you equate the difficulty of Moto to paper competition. What's the typical RCQ experience like? A league, a challenge? Not a challenge. About a league level, I would estimate. I haven't played RCQ in a while. There's like a lot more randomness at RCQs too. There's like, you know, lists are usually a little bit less tuned. They're maybe a little bit more metagamed. There's usually like more techie cards you're not prepared for. There's like less experienced players playing paper on average. They had Ragavan. The plan was to top deck Bolt for the win. I mean, I don't think that like. I mean, you can even tap the. You can tap the Flood Strand to help bash Ragavan because I have Urborg. At least in Modern, at least there's like a really high degree of randomness when it comes to the RCQs, which can make it very difficult to prepare for. Huh. I'm gonna scam them on turn 1. I really don't want to lose this Nahiri though. Am I really putting back Forge-Tender? I think I am. Because I really want to have the Nahiri after I scam. Yeah, I went to 1 like paper RCQ, and when I got there, people were telling me that like Bring to Light Scapeshift was the most popular deck there, and they were right. And my matchup against Bring to Light Scapeshift was like really horrible. I can't remember what I was playing. it was blue white control. But like yeah, that store had just like decided Bring to Light Scapeshift the best deck in the format. I think we take the Hearse here. The iteration's pretty tough. I'll probably like counterspell my rebound and then get to iteration, but I also don't. I really don't want them to get to Hearse down. But also, if they counterspell my Ephemerate, then I get to attack for 3, which is nice. And wait, also, why did they play an Islet on turn 1? Is that? That's not all they had, right? Okay, so now I get to take the iteration. And pass back. I think it didn't matter. They have a 1-drop. I guess. I mean, there's just like no reason to play Islet turn 1 over Canal. But like it matters if they just draw a land that doesn't deal them a damage on turn 2. Oh yeah, they did also have the Bolt. I don't know. It's okay, whatever. You just misclick sometimes. Misplay sometimes. Alright, counterspell, 3 mystery cards. Untap Steam Vents. Yeah, I think I'm casting Voidwalker. If they Murktide, I'm going to want to like Solitude, pitch Nahiri, then play Seasoned Pyromancer. Yeah, you're thinking of Minor Misstep Horchata, but it's not a strict upgrade to Nyx. It's a little bit different. But yeah, I believe that you're thinking of Minor Misstep. Okay, so I like playing this Voidwalker this turn, since if my opponent kills a Voidwalker with a removal spell, then that card is exiled with a Void counter, and then I can Nahiri back Voidwalker and activate. Okay, just like this. Although I don't have Delirium. Could also just draw a land and like get back Grief. Just draw a Fatal Push. Yeah, don't hate pushing the Murktide. Could still pitch the Nahiri to Solitude this game. I kinda want to push main phase because if they have a counter spell, then they can't connive. But I think upkeep is still probably better. They have to draw a 1-mana spell, and they just all they get to do is connive, right? Any cards from me so I can get Elemental deck? Maybe Elishnorn, not much else, I think. Push Murktide. Did I call this Murktide? Oh yeah, obviously. That's not the card. Okay, so let's go ahead and get a Swamp just for Blood Moon considerations, and then 4 mana Nahiri, get back Grief. Oh, I have to... Oh, fuck. I forgot that this is Mardu. Needed to get a mountain. Needed to get a mountain. That's so much worse. Just like totally forgot like this symbol mattered at all. I will tick up to get out of bolt range, pass back. It's Wash Away? Okay, exclamation point card, Wash Away. Oh, right, from the, yeah, from the Innistrad set. Yeah. Cool card for sure. Okay, so let's cast Seasoned Pyromancer. If it gets countered, we'll Nahiri it back. Don't have much planned for that, I suppose. We'll keep it on top. Play this. Do I have Delirium? I have instant, creature, land still. No Delirium. So I think we'll just make this unable to attack Nahiri and pass. Yeah, Nahiri's been really good. And what's also great about Nahiri too, like in this show, is there's so many cards that are already strong, of course. You have a Devoted Druid list without Saga? I haven't been working on a Devoted Druid list without Saga. I think that there are of course a few ways you could build the deck. I'm not sure what the best would be. So I'm one loyalty short of being able to... I don't have double white. I really messed up with that fetch. Bolts Nahiri down to 2, okay. So maybe the best line is discarding Seasoned Pyromancer, trying to find a white source. Because otherwise, what are my outs if I cast Seasoned Pyromancer? Like red source plus Terminate. Yeah, I think I have to find a white source or a white card. Well, I'm alive. I can also Seasoned Pyromancer token this turn if I want to. Left again, think of it 10 months. Yeah, reinstalling is what you need to do for Magic Online. think they're maybe seeing that I've got Seasoned Pyromancer in the yard now. Yeah, and then they just don't attack with Ragavan. So funny. Okay, then Nahiri. Do you have Delirium now, though? So if I draw another Nahiri, I can Voidwalker the Subtlety, or kill with the heat of Voidwalker Subtlety. Probably not attacking. I have game 3 on the play at least. Yeah, we could, you know, maybe get lucky still. Next, Scalding Tarn. Subtlety was really brutal too. Like we were doing pretty well against a counterspell, but Subtlety putting the Spyro on top instead of the yard was really tough. The 4th iteration, huh? Yeah, Subtlety uptick I think is largely because of Titan's prevalence. Alright, Nahiri, Seasoned Pyromancer, Solitude are the best top decks. Terminate's not too bad. I think I just have to terminate this now, so I'm not dead to Bolt, plus Counterspell. There's a Murktide, though. Here he can't bring back Solitude the turn you play it, unfortunately, so that's not an out. We have to draw Solitude or another Terminate, so we have like 5 outs. Go to game 3. I think if I didn't mess up with like the casting of Nahiri that turn, we were really likely to win, but we can, you know, play a bit better game 3. There's a Queen's Gambit as shown for MTG. Which real life Magic figure would be the protagonist? I don't know. Nassif probably. Like, Nassif's story is awesome. How he's like a young kid into big career out of it. Super good for the community. Nahiri seems bad. Before you call Nahiri bad, at least consider that I fucked up really bad, huh? We'll consider Seasoned Pyromancer with my fetch here. I actually feel like she's been looking good this league, but you know, whatever. People, this also happens every single time we play with a new card. We get this card seems bad actually, Spike. Absent Tyvar mid. So this started off as Absent Tyvar mid range, and I think Nahiri is much better. But the other thing about Nahiri, at least in that game, if what you're basing your opinion on is that game, which it might not be, right? But if you are, at least consider that I messed up really badly. Cancer, thank you for it. Hope you're doing well today. So I know my opponent's hand is Ledger Shredder Channeler. I kind of just want to take this hit from Ragavan, then Solitude Ephemerate. Kind of down. It's pretty like risky. Had a wall combo. It was really fun. It was I think good too. You know, good enough. We went 3-2-3-2. The deck is obviously like terrible because Titan is the problem, but I think in a less Titan heavy metagame could be a reasonable choice. With a push, is it better to remove the Ragavan on your turn to wait? I think like the upside of like Solitude Ephemerating 3 creatures on turn 2 is high enough that I like when I have the knowledge of their hand too, that I should go for it. Let's go. You ever just take the hit from Ragavan? A line Doomwake would have never taken. It's also like in some ways really hard for my opponent to play around it because it's like, you ever seen somebody take a hit from Ragavan before? Why not Rebirth instead? Because I want to get all 3 creatures. Although Rebirth instead, I guess, lets me save Ephemerate for the Murktide, but... Wait, did they play this Canal? I feel like they played this Canal. Yeah, I also had a Fatal Push the whole time, opponent. Of course I had a Fatal Push. So it has Murktide Mystery card. I think they already played that Canal. What is that, 3 for 3? It's a 4 for 3, because I get 3 of their creatures, use 3 cards, but I can have a Solitude in play. You get to play a 5/5 Murktide, though. But I have the 3/2 lifelinker to do a bit of racing. I think I'm going to go ahead and fetch Godless Shrine in a turn. Need a Soul Space. So we started a Souls run because Magic Online crashed for a bit, so we'll be finishing it after the Magic stuff today. We're right before Gargoyles. So 5, up to 8. Think you can bluff another Rebirth with an attack? It's pretty risky. My opponent's like definitely not ghosting, but I also like have a tendency to like not bluff when I'm streaming ever. My opponent's obviously not ghosting, but oh, they put Ledger Shredder in the graveyard. Wow, I probably would have kept that one. I just am kind of hardwired to not again bluff when I'm streaming. Okay, down to 5. We get to go up to 8, and down to 3. I definitely need a top deck. Not a terrible one. I guess I could have attacked first. Should have attacked first. I think this puts me ahead on the race. I can't believe you click OK every time. Use the keyboard. How is... So instead of clicking OK, I have to click a button for OK. What's the difference? Literally, what is the difference? I can't believe you click over here for OK instead of over here for OK. You have to move the mouse to the button? I think that's fine. Currently ahead 8 minutes on the clock. Yeah, you only have to use one hand this way too. It's nice. Although maybe 2 hands is better for Carpal Tunnel, huh? Yeah, I know there's other hotkeys. I know there's the hotkeys. I used to use the hotkeys. When I stream, I always like I wave my hand when I talk. I can't help myself. Also, like if I want to use the keys, I like misclick more often. Like I just like instinctively hit the key. I'm not joking. It's actually not good for your wrist or arm to use the mouse so much. Yeah, I hear you. I'm gonna live dangerously though. Okay, 2 cards entering the exile zone. One of them is Hearse. Interesting. Can they attack here? They put me down to 3. I hit them for 7, put them down to 5, and then I go back up to 6. Oh, they Hearse themselves. Okay. Thankfully, I can Iteration, or Voidwalker Iteration here. Looking for an answer to the Murktide, which I have, you know, Ephemerate's, Salt. Oh, I could also just draw Ephemerate. I think I'll still go ahead and Iteration. Wow. Hand, bottom, exile. Definitely attacking with the Forge-Tender, because if they do play a creature accrue the Hearse, I can Ephemerate and get both of the creatures. I have another Murktide. Awesome to have Forge-Tender to protect my Ephemerate here. Guess the Hearse is only a 1/1 though. Can Nahiri back Voidwalker attack for 7? No! You're kidding. I guess I should have played around it. It's so hard to play around, though. It was pretty telegraphed with the way they delved. Was it? I guess you're saying they just spend another mana otherwise. Maybe you're right. Swing out. I feel like I don't attack with the Solitude, the Forge-Tender. But I can get Nahiri up to 6 loyalty for Solitude Rebirth next turn. Oh, they just have the Hearse though. But I think I have to attack to gain life. Well, I guess I could have also just Seasoned Pyromancer, I suppose. That did double XL Hearse. They only have 1 instant in their yard. Check out my yard instead. Yeah, I think Seasoned Pyromancer tried to hit another Ephemerate was better, or Undying Effect too would have been good. I think it's actually just better to let this take 2 since I'm not recurring anything anyways. I'm gonna have the Forge-Tender to check the Fury. So go down to 4. Have some outs. My main out is Terminate here, so the most looks at Terminate is Shock in for Seasoned Pyromancer into plus with Nahiri for a card. Can also draw Solitude plus white card. Wrong removal spell. Okay, bummer. Yeah, definitely didn't play this match very well. Game 2 was super winnable. Nahiri is not really impressed me this league. That's a fine conclusion to draw. I do feel the opposite though, to be honest. I think that people will see like planeswalkers like Nahiri, and like it's kind of like it's the exact same thing with Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Like Fable of the Mirror Breaker started to see like play in decks, and people will go on and on and on about how mid it was, but it's just like one of the best things you could be doing in the slots. I think in this deck, Nahiri is like the best top end card advantage engine you could have. Her plus, she protects herself, she draws cards, she recurs, she's very good with Voidwalker and Seasoned Pyromancer and Priest of Rites, all for 3 mana, but she can have more loyalty for 4 mana. I think people put like way too much like pressure on these like grindy 3 and 4 drops, if that makes sense. Fable is actually good though. I'm saying that Nahiri is actually good as well. And I think that she's been like, I think she's been very powerful all league. Like, okay, like with the big exception being like the turn I like punted really badly with fetching wrong. If that makes sense. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's also like, let's get through, you know, a league or two, but this happens like every single time I playtest a like grindy card. It's like if it doesn't in the game immediately, if it isn't like just much better than everything else in play, people call it bad. But it's just like a appropriate modern power level card. You know, it's like appropriate grindy 3 or 4 mana card. It's not like, you know, comparing it to Seasoned Pyromancer or Fable of the Mirror Breaker or really just those 2 cards, because those are the other 2 options. It's providing about the same or more value, you know. 14 here may be a bit too much. I think in this list, Form Nahiri makes a lot of sense because we're like very built around it, but you don't have to play 4 either. Alright. I don't want to put back the Solitude. So just put back the Priest. Which is better, Soul of Windgrace or Nahiri? I mean, I've got a lot more reps with Soul of Windgrace. I always thought Soul was like pretty underrated too. Recurring. So Nahiri's minus is really good with Dauthi Voidwalker, Seasoned Pyromancer, and Priest of Rites. Those are the best cards to recur with Nahiri. Nahiri also like just draws a card if you have no cards in your hand. Nahiri also protects herself. There's a lot to like with this card in my opinion. Don't think I'm supposed to Solitude this. Interesting that they're main decking Blood Moon with Din and Shizo. Usually I don't think you want to be playing. I mean, I guess I don't know what their list looks like exactly. Alright. Gonna get bolted. But then if they bolt the Voidwalker, I can Nahiri and cast the bolt. And I could also be overrating Nahiri, but at least in my own personal evaluation, I've liked it a lot this league. And also in my evaluation, I think modern players tend to really underrate new cards. Or they hit a push, it's pretty bad. Especially like, you know, grindy cards. And I think in recent memory, Fable of the Mirror Breaker is a really good example of a card that doesn't like just win the game on the spot and is just a grindy 3-mana card, but is a really good grindy 3-mana card. Where's Nahiri for the best? Nahiri's better in this deck than it is in Boros Stoneblade, so I think the real key for Nahiri is utilizing 2-mana creatures. So Nahiri's really good. Dauthi Voidwalker, Stoneforge Mystic, Priest of Fell Rites. I think just being able to go 3-mana, recur one of those, activate it immediately is like the best thing for Nahiri. Yeah, they have the Shizo for Fear. Why is Priest good? I mean, being able to recur with Nahiri and activate it immediately is pretty powerful. You get to recur a Solitude, a Seasoned Pyromancer, keep those in play permanently also. Feels bad that I ditched the Solitude. Now we kind of like need it really badly. We're also just dead to the Bolt next turn plus Shizo. Yeah, you could play a real Reanimator version of this deck. This is just the variant I wanted to start with here. Okay, so bringing the Forge-Tenders at the push. And then I'm gonna click submit. Hold on. I'm gonna make sure at the end, Lucy, you're playing nice. Lucy, you being good? Maybe this deck could side in Reanimator package. I don't like that idea since the Reanimator package is like always much worse post board. Alright, keep this. Not sure how worried about Blood Moon I need to be. Do you think Tyvar would be good with Priest? I do think like there's obviously synergy there. Again, I think that this deck, like, Tyvar is really good. Tyvar is a really good card. This started off as a Tyvar mid-range deck. I think Nahiri is much, much better than Tyvar would be in the shell. Tyvar might be better for like the Reanimator plan, but Nahiri also like being a looter. I think that that's probably more so where I want to be personally for that deck idea. Probably okay to discard a Solitude here. I mean, they're probably not super familiar with the list, but it's, you know, it's not the worst thing to keep in some number of Thoughtseizes either. I think I'm keeping the Solitude in my hand to hard cast, but I'll discard push Marsh Flats. A little bit of pressure into play. Blood Moon incoming? Maybe. I mean, they don't have any basic swamps in play. Oh. Sorry, I shouldn't have F6'd. I should have just Ephemerated the Seasoned Pyromancer. Well, it's really not the end of the world. Two Dauthi Voidwalkers, can't cast them. Do I care about any of these cards? I guess since their hand is so bad, Fable of the Mirror Breaker can, like, you know, loot them into a better hand. Yeah, Fable's the pick there, but the Fable is also not, like... I don't think it was particularly scary. Suppose if I play the Priest to give them a target for the push, it was hardcast out of grief. Take the Cola Guns command, probably. Tyvar, Free Nurse can make Maverick in Modern. I continue to not really understand what people mean when they describe decks as Maverick, but maybe. Discards both Voidwalkers, and his Liliana push. Now they can fetch push a Grief. So why don't we just... Might as well attack with the Grief, but they're gonna likely block, and then we can Ephemerate after they do play a Priest. Maverick and Legacy is the opposite of Doomsday. You resolve your 3-drop and lose. Yeah, I think the name Rocket or the name Maverick has really lost a lot of meaning to me. So they Liliana instead of Kroxa. They get the Solitude out of their hands. Still doing pretty well though. Chef might be too deep, but I'm cooking. I posted the link in chat. I'd be happy to take a look. I think I want to discard the Seasoned Pyromancer. The Grief is not very good, obviously, on this board. Worthwhile to pre-Solitude for Mercy. This is only as a sorcery. Have I thought about Tyvar in the deck? I don't know if you're actually asking, Mason, but this start, if you are, this started off as a Tyvar deck, and I think Nahiri does what Tyvar is doing, but much better, where the other abilities are like more relevant and it has more loyalty, or can have more loyalty for a kicker. And like like Tyvar's +1 has no text, and yeah. I wasn't sure if you were trolling or not, but like again, this started off as a Tyvar brew, realizing that Nahiri was just like almost strictly better. Okay, so they didn't Kroxa, but you know I guess them Kroxing here is not really that good because of the Priest for Solitude. I guess I could terminate Seasoned Pyromancer, Voidwalker, Seasoned Pyromancer. I don't really need to worry too much about Liliana. You missed those. We haven't played it, so we had a lot of downtime today where Magic Online crashed. I've got some other decks prepped today. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to get to. I'm also, like, because we started the run, I need to commit to finishing the Dark Souls run today. We're, like, hitless right before Gargoyles. Not too bad, huh? Alright, John to Tyvar. Nox, 15 months. 5 months, thank you. If you're doing well. Ooh, Hearse. Hearse plus Kroxa is actually a disgusting turn this turn. Plus Liliana, discard my Solitude. Kind of nauseating. They should Liliana first. Yes. Where's the Tyvar's at? Good question. I would probably put Tyvar in your Jund Tyvar deck. Is it just like not in the database? No, there's just I'd play Tyvar over these Thoughtseizes for 100% of the time. Okay. Interesting draw. So, what do we have under the Voidwalker? Nothing. Alright, let me just Nahiri draw a card here. I don't think I'm going to be zeroing this turn because of the hearse. Could obviously, like, force... could also force, like, the hearse to tap, but I think I'm just going to draw the card right now. Then pass back. Breaks officially pumped. 5 months, I think you get knocks. Nahiri get back Solitude. This target's right, yeah. With the hearse, yeah, Nahiri get back Solitude, Priest get back Solitude. I would love to get back some Solitudes here. Although you can't get back Solitude immediately with Nahiri. I would love to, but my opponent has a hearse. Yeah, Malera and Druid don't combo together. It seems like you're under the impression that that combo works. That combo does not work. Malera stops you from ever putting a counter on Devoted Druid. And so like that's like the whole reason like you don't see Malera in the Devoted Druid. And they top deck Seasoned Pyromancer, of course they top deck Seasoned Pyromancer. That's why you like never see like this Undying combo with Devoted Druid and Malera, because the combo just doesn't work. Unearth Priest, then Priest plus Priest. Oh boy. Could have activated Priest, then Nahiri Priest. Yeah, I guess that line's actually pretty good. Unless they exile both Priests, but then I guess they wouldn't do that either. Oh, they main phase tap that. That's awesome for me, I think. Well, I guess I don't have... Well, I now have like a really good block where I can just jump block with Seasoned Pyromancer and recur it. Could triple block also if I wanted to. I think I'm not going to do that right now. It's an interesting draw. Part is I've used most of my Solitudes already. Here he's keeping the card coming. I think I'm just ignoring Liliana, right? Any chance you can make Spell Dancer good in Modern? I never make any card good in Modern. Cards are either good or they're not good, and Spell Dancer is not good. Yeah, so like on a very, very basic level, this doesn't work. You need to be playing white instead of red. You need to be playing something, like, in my opinion, much closer to the list I played recently. Another note here, though, is like Ragavan is not good in your deck. It's not terrible either, but like I don't usually like to play Ragavan in decks like this that have no removal spells. Like I don't even like to play it in Jund Food for that reason. Ragavan, like it's kind of like a side note. Ragavan's been feeling like really mid lately, mid to bad. But I will post this link in the chat, which is a deck I liked a lot, and I think this is closer to what I would recommend. Force Croaker to attack so I can Dauthi it. I mean, I'm also just like not okay. I don't want to Dauthi it. I don't want to cast it with Dauthi if that's what you're saying. But I also don't want to. I'm okay if they just don't attack with it, right? Yeah. Like this is a good example. Like maybe not the best example, but I've just been playing a lot of games, so Ragavan is like just by far the worst card you could have on that board state. I really like the Nahiri, even when they have Graveyard Hate in play, like my opponent has. Like the card is still just interesting. It's still just a card advantage engine. Okay, let me go ahead and attack. I think with not their Seasoned Pyromancer, because I want to be able to. Well, I guess if I use Undying here, then they just hearse in response every single time. So we would just hold it to discard to the Kroxa. I guess I'll plus the Leona first. Yeah, I did the Shizo. My opponent's taking 7. Alright, let's just discard the Undying Evil then. Not a bad draw. Not the Shizo. They just Shizo Kroxa, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, but I can Forge-Tender it. You're right. So if they don't draw a removal spell for Forge-Tender, we're good. Didn't you have to keep that in hand? No. I don't think so. Yeah, I really like the Nahiri, like, when your opponent has Hearse in play, it's, like, still just, like, +1 draw a card on a 3-mana Planeswalker. And when they don't have Hearse in play, it's, you know, that's other things, too. Eating themselves for escape. Well, maybe. They would have to get rid of the Voidwalker first. Yeah, I also didn't realize this at first, but yeah, being able to draw a card when you have no cards is huge. Big deal. Yeah, this is the first league. We had a little bit of a break due to Magic Online dying. If you target Curse of Fortune at the beginning of combat, is also prevent the damage. I think it will prevent damage if this is damage instead of life loss, but this is life loss, so it does not work. What is Spike showing us? Mill Brews? Well, I like Demonic Tutor's list a lot. Tutors has been crushing lately. Usually when there's a player like Tutors who's really good and just is like hammering out lists a lot, I don't mess around with the archetype too much because I don't think there's like a lot of work that needs being done. I canister with elementals for the longest time is how I felt. Interesting attack. Yeah, didn't Tutors like 402 prelims in a row or something? Block with Spyro to Walker it. I'm never casting Walker with or anything with Walker next turn. I'm just attacking. I've been should I have been disliking the scam plan? What do you think? Yeah, I haven't been loving the Ephemerate package in the deck lately either. So like I think maybe just moving back towards Esper Sentinels is fine. You have a lot of options. One card I kind of play Clever Lubomancer in the deck too. I've been liking that card a lot, and I really like the Curve of Sentinel into that card. They drew Fatal Push, which is bad, but the good news is they've also just left themselves dead on board here. Why did they attack? I mean, they were maybe dead anyways, but they were definitely dead if they attacked. Morning, Atashi. Alright, sack a creature. Let's go ahead and sack a Seasoned Pyromancer. Oh, they sack a creature. Wait, I'm dead? No! Dude, I would... Oh, of course I'm laughing at them as I'm dead. Oh, what a play. I totally missed it. That's why I needed to keep the card in hand. No, keep... Well, I guess. No, you can't Forge-Tender its life loss. I know it's really hard to not play the Forge-Tender, but I guess so, yeah. Brutal League. Brutal. Let's play the 8 Squirrel deck. I think that's what I have rented.